All right. Welcome to another edition of Blues Deluxe. And today it's my pleasure and honor to have Kim Horton on with me, the president. Now, the president. Previously, you were interim president last time we spoke. You're now president of the Blues Foundation. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me now as the president and not as interim.
Well, that's my first question. How does that happen? How did you end up being interim? I know someone left, but and then why did it take so long for you to become actual president? Is there voting or what happens with that?
Yeah, it was the board. The board had to have a special meeting. They had several special meetings in order to for me to be interim. And after that year, I think initially it was supposed to be just for a year. And there were some transitions in the board as well. So it took them a little while to make the final vote to vote me. And I had proven myself to be, you know, in a way to be made the actual president instead of just interim.
And you were doing your own thing before that. You were busy with your own business, and your daughter took that over. You told me last time.
Yes, my daughter took that over last time. I'm sorry, did I lose you?
No,
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. My daughter took that over and she's still doing it. She's only working with a couple of the artists that were there. She's just getting into it. She doesn't eat, live, breathe blues and music like I do. So she's working with a couple of my older artists that she has the patience for. Some of the newer ones and the younger ones she didn't have the patience for. So she said, "Mama, I'm keeping these two, and that's who I'm working with, and that's it." So
Wow, really?
yeah, but she's doing well. She's doing well.
Well, that's interesting that you said she likes the older artists, and she's not used to dealing with the newer artists.
Well, when I say older, I mean in age as well.
Right, that's what I
You
meant.
would think that it would be opposite. The older artists so sometimes have the reputation of being harder to work with, and it's actually, and it's not that they're hard to work with. It's just that she has a regular job, as I did when I was booking as well. So it's just kind of hard to juggle the demands that are needed. So working with the older ones gives her time to still, have her regular job and still do what, work the music in the afternoon and at night. So that's what she does. And it works out well. It works out well.
So tell me a little bit about the Blues Hall of Fame, and in the past few years we've lost some of the older gentlemen that have been playing out, like Luther Guitar Jr. Johnson. We lost, and Jimmy Johnson, another one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Are they? Is any of the stuff from them in the Hall of Fame now, or how does that work? When after they're gone, do you get
Oh
anything
yeah,
from?
if we have it here, then it remains here. If the family allows us to keep it, then they allow us to keep it, and then my museum director will reach out as contracts come to an end. She will reach out to see if they want to extend those contracts or if they want to have their items returned. And a lot of times they'll tell us, well, I don't want to. I want whatever you have back there, and then they'll send us something else so that we'll have something that belongs to that person. But it just depends on the person when they got inducted. But we do have lots of things that we have to deal with the states and so forth to make sure that we have proper permissions to use different things.
So you must have attorneys to deal with some of that, I take it.
We do have an attorney, but the museum director, whoever the museum director is mainly in charge of doing those contracts and those and making sure that those loans are kept in good standing and that they aren't expired and so forth. So that's primarily up under the museum director. We do have an attorney on staff if we have questions as far as legalities, but pretty much the contracts are straightforward. They're the same for everybody.
So the IBCs had just done not too long ago, a month or
Mm-hmm.
so ago. They were great from what I heard. And
Mm-hmm.
and now the Blues Music Awards are coming. Now let me explain. The Blues Music Awards used to be called the WC Handy Awards at one time, correct? Right?
Yes. Yes.
Why did that change?
It was time for a change. I wasn't around when all of that stuff went down, but I know there was something with the usage of the names. I wasn't around during when all of that took place, so not really sure. I don't want to say something that's not correct, but I know there was a problem with the use of the name.
So how does that work? Who gets to vote for the Blues Music Awards? And my other question is going to be: is there any new categories this year, or is there going to be coming down the road?
There are no new categories. We did change the name of one. It is now the now called the Best Emerging Artist instead of Best Emerging Artist Album. That's what's different. And who gets to vote? All of the current members of the Blues Foundation. If you are an active member, then you have the right and the ability to vote for whatever artist you want to vote for in those 25 categories.
And it's online, right? They can do it
And it's
online.
online. Voting is closed now. It closed on the 28th at 6 p.m. But yeah, it was all online. The voting was online. You had to log in into your membership portal, and then it would give you the ballot so that you could make your vote.
And how long is the period of time to vote? Do you have? It starts
You
when and
have
ends when?
you have about a month and a half. You have about anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to vote. So right directly after the IBCs, we made the announcement for the nominees, and the day that we made the announcement for the nominees, the voting was live at that particular time. So you have
Wow.
at least 6 weeks to vote.
What new things are happening at the foundation and/or Hall of Fame? Is there anything new happening other than?
Well, we did something new with the Hall of Fame inductions this year. I treated it just like the Keeping the Blues Alive. We allowed people to send in nomination forms for who they felt were worthy of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Previously, and it is still this way, we have people think that the Hall of Fame selections come directly from in here. They do not. We have an external committee that has a humongous database with all types of musicians, writers, so forth, that they go through, and they have these long, extensive meetings to decide who is worthy of being inducted. So this year we did something a little different. We allowed people to send in nomination forms for those that they wanted to see inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Which was a great way to connect the community, and it went over very well, and I'm happy we did it that way.
And it's worldwide. People can nominate from all over the world.
Yep, you sure can. And we didn't make it to where you had to be a member, you had to be an affiliate. We just opened it up so that people could send in who they would like to see inducted into the Hall of Fame.
That's great.
Yeah, we want to have lots of transparency, and we want all of our members to feel involved and to have a say. To have a say in what we have going on, because we are a membership based facility foundation, and it's important for the members to know that they are appreciated and their input is valuable to us.
And you're involved with Blues in the Schools as well.
We have not been back involved with Blues in the School since COVID. And also the states have made such drastic changes with music programs and so forth. So we're still actually working on that. We have a committee now that's together. They're meeting to figure out what we need to do to get that back up and going. Because now the schools, you have to fall into their curriculum. So it may not be that you go in under music per se, but we may have to go in under history or English or something like that. But so many different little things that have to be I's that have to be dotted and T's that have to be crossed before we can hop back out there. But we are actively working on getting back involved with Blues in the Schools.
It's great. Any other things that you're involved with like that with the foundation?
Well, we have one high school here in inner city school that we've been working with indirectly with our host hotel, since we don't have a venue facility here in the Blues Foundation. So we've been partnering with our partner hotel, which is the Hyatt Centric and the Hyatt Caption, and they're allowing one of those inner city schools to come in and have their music meetings there by way of the Blues Foundation. So we're excited about that. Just excited about getting more young people involved and having more young people come in and ask questions and be intrigued about the information and the history that we do have here inside the Hall of Fame Museum. And of course, we got the hologram. It's coming up on a year's anniversary, and that's still a big hit for everybody. So I'm super proud of that. That's probably our newest thing that's in here, and it's almost, it'll be a year old in May.
You want to explain that? I know what it is. I've seen it, but
Okay.
I want you to explain what it's interactive is what it is.
Yes, and what happened? The young lady that was highly involved with the Vox Center there in Boston, which they have the first one of these types of holograms. And when I saw it, I knew I had to have it. And my goal was to make sure that we preserve the history and the heritage from some of the older artists that are still here with us. So I chose Taj Mahal. He's our first one. I do have others that I bought licenses for. It's just getting them to sit down long enough to do it. It's a very lengthy process, but it is a highly intelligent um, hologram that's interactive that you can ask questions with. You can play songs with it, and he's very detailed about the answers. And of course, he gets smarter as the time goes. So it's exciting. I'm enjoying watching people come in and interact. We've had several musicians come in and play songs with him, and that's been super fun too. And I guess the highlight of everybody's um the highlight, I guess, for everybody was when Taj was here and he actually sang and played along with himself because he had not seen it yet. So to be here to witness him seeing it for the first time and for him to sing along and play along with himself, that was, I don't even have the words for it. It was out of sight.
What did he say after he did it?
He just he was just he didn't have any words either. He was, when I asked him to do it, he said yeah, just because it was me, and he had no idea. He didn't know what to expect. He didn't know what it was going to look like, because it does not look like, when you say the word hologram, you think pixelated, you think the dots, and to walk across the hallway or through the threshold and you see it looks like he's actually sitting back there. So it's not like the holograms that we grew up knowing about and seeing. It's an actual full body hologram that looks like a real person, and it's very smart.
And he was blown away by it, I bet. When he
He was. I mean, he didn't have any words. I mean, the news was here when he was able to see it for the first time himself, and he just, I mean, nobody had any words. I mean, it was just out of sight. We unveiled it and all played with it at the same time. So it was quite enlightening to see him be excited, to see himself preserved in history like that.
and I'm a little secret out. You work with him too. You were his assistant, correct?
Personal business management, yes. Mm-hmm.
See, I knew that.
Well, a lot
And
of people know
I
it. It's,
I
it's, it's
I'd
not a
like go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that part is not a secret. I mean, a lot of people do ask, how do you get to be with Taj Mahal all the time, or how are you always where he is? But it is because I do work for him, not in a managerial way or booking or management in that sense, but I do handle a lot of his personal business, and I enjoy doing it. He's a treasure to work for, of course, and I've learned so much from just, every time you have a conversation with him, it's like going to a classroom. So I love it.
Yeah, over the years I've seen him a few times. You never know what to expect when you go see him. Never.
No.
I mean, he's either gonna play acoustic and he's just gonna kill you with his acoustic, or he's gonna have a band with him, and I never know that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, now we've put a lot of effort in making sure we say the Taj Mahal sextet or the quintet or the quartet. So, we kind of make it known now when it is just him, or when he's with the guys or with the Phantom Blues Band, because he performs with them quite a bit too. So it just depends, but
And
he's top.
now he's touring with Keb Mo, I hear.
Yeah, well, they're getting ready to do the new Taj Mo 2 tour for the new album that's coming out in May. So I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, I saw you in a Facebook video with the two of them, and it was like, oh, they're doing another record. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's coming out in May. First single just released, I believe, on February the 20th. So it's been doing really well so far. So I think people were waiting for it, and they're going to be excited. And I think it's going to be a great tour.
They're an interesting duo together, those two guys, because of how eclectic both of them are with their music.
Oh yeah, and Keb tells people all the time, if it was no, well, he calls him Henry. If it was no Henry, it would be no Keb because the story is Taj was at his high school and they met, and that's how he got wrapped up into where he is now. So, and it paid off because they're so much alike, and I love their relationship. Kevin actually calls Taj Paul, so I love it.
Yeah, and Taj went to school up here in Massachusetts.
Yes, and he talks about that all the time. That's something that's very dear to his heart. Yes, that he was there in Massachusetts.
Well, one
So
of
they'll be back up that way. At Cape Cod.
Yep,
I
the
think
Melody Tent. Yep, I know.
yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's exciting. I'm excited to be able to be around all these great musicians and historians and storytellers that I get to hang out with and be around. I mean, it's I love it. I wouldn't want life to be any other way.
Tell me, tell me a story about one of the musicians that was special to you, other than Taj, that you
Well,
spent time with.
oh gosh, there's so many. Like I've worked for Johnny Rawls for a long time, and just you know being around him and listening to the old stories, and just I don't have like one specific story. It's just hanging out with Uncle. I call Bobby Rush Uncle Bobby. Hanging out with Uncle Bobby. I mean, he's another one. You never know what you're gonna get. You never know what's gonna come out. So I just love all of it. I mean, all of the stories that I've heard and all of the things that I've experienced and been around with them, all of them are treasures to me because I've been in places a lot of people wish they could be. And I'm thankful for that because I know that it's a privilege and a joy to be able to hang out with them as close as I am. It's just great. I love it. So I don't have a specific story, but I do have my favorites that I like to be around. And like I said, Johnny Rawls is one, Bobby Rush is one. And I still love, even though I don't work with them anymore as management or booking, but I still love hanging out with, the Dexter Allens, Mr. Sip, people that I worked for in the past that are just still very near and dear to me. Because we, over the years, even though we had work relationships, we became friends and,
Yep.
just sharing family. I mean, we know family and, birthdays, important things that you just learn to share with people that are close to you. And I treasure all of them.
So where do you see the Blues Hall of Fame and Foundation in the next 3 to 5 years?
In a larger facility.
Really? Wow, really?
That's a long-term goal of mine to get a larger facility. We need a venue. We need more display space. Um, we have so much stuff now that we have to keep in archives because we don't have room to put it. So I would love to see us grow to where we have to, where this can still be the offices, but I would love to have the museum in a larger space so that we can have more history to display, more
Any
showcases, more everything, more galleries.
any idea how many people contribute each year to the foundation?
Contribute which way? Monetarily?
Yeah.
Well, we really depend. I mean, we have donors that are just donors, but something that people don't realize, we are membership based. So our membership base right now is about 3,900. We highly depend upon those memberships to keep things rolling.
Yeah, you need more than 3,900.
We need more than 3,900.
Absolutely.
We do. And we've gotten some new, we picked up some great numbers here recently, but it's a work in progress to get more. A lot of people should just get awareness, so people that don't know we even exist and that they can join. They don't know. A lot of people don't even know that they can join. And when it's explained to them, the first thing people ask, how can I vote? Well, first you got to be a member. So that's how we sell, they want to be able to vote and have a say. So they join for that reason. And then a lot of them join just to support the foundation. But we do need more than 3,900. We need that to be about 6,900.
You need about 10,000 is what you
Yeah,
need.
well, I'm going the steps, but I do. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But I do know, yeah, we need more space. We need another facility just to have office space, But we're making what we have work, and everybody's enjoying themselves, and so we're in good shape.
And you're based in Memphis.
Yes, we're in Memphis, directly across the street from the Civil Rights Museum on South Main Street. Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about the Hall of Fame and some of the things that are in the Hall of Fame at this point.
Well, of course, we have over 400 people that have been inducted. We do have a lot of things. Everything is not on display, but we do have a new display of Stevie Ray Vaughan, the gentleman that owns most of his memorabilia. He wanted what we had on display back. So we have a new Stevie Ray Vaughan exhibit, we have his boots, we have his hat, we have guitar. So we've had a lot of people come in to wanting to see the new Stevie Ray Vaughan exhibit. And that's really the only new thing in here. Of course, the Hall of Fame exhibits change every year, the ones that are for the class of that particular year. So Ashley and myself are now we're curating, getting those things brought in here for May for those to be on display. And of course, the hologram, that's the other new thing. But we are getting ready to do something really big. We're getting ready to make I don't know if you remember seeing the signage up and down the hallway with all the Hall of Fame names.
Yep.
Okay, that's getting ready to come down. That's getting ready to be interactive as well. So we're going to put jumbotrons up so that you can go in and touch the year, and all the people that were inducted that year will come up and it'll play whatever they got inducted for. So that's getting ready to be done because we've outgrown the signs. 2024 took up the last space of the sign, so we're making that electronic too. So that will be up and installed before the new Hall of Fame induction.
Wow, more interactive within the Hall of Fame. That's great.
Yeah, because we want young people to come in, and we got to make it fun and enjoyable for them, and especially with phones and games and all of that, they want stuff that they can actually touch and press and hear. And so we're trying to come up to par with the technology so that it'll be all updated and more fun for everybody, young and old, to come in.
You ever think of doing another hologram outside of Taj, a different hologram somewhere?
Well, yeah, I bought 3 licenses when we got it started. I do have 2 more people. I won't disclose who they are, but I will tell you Bobby Rush is one of them. But it's a long process to get the hologram done, and it's just kind of hard to get artists. It's kind of hard to get them to sit stationary for so long, answering so many questions to get it done. So as soon as I thought I had Uncle Bobby pinned down, and then now he's on tour with Kenny Wayne Shepherd and Buddy Guy. So as soon as he gets to a point where he slows down, then I'll nab him and get the film crew to where they can come and get it done so we can have an interchangeable, and then you'll be able to interchange between personalities at that point.
How long did it take Taj to sit and have to do all that when he originally sat for the
It took us a
hologram?
little over because he wanted to. I actually interrupted the recording of the new Taj Mo record. We took over Cam's studio for a day, so it actually. And he wanted to go ahead and get it out of the way, so it took us about 12 hours to get it all done. So
Wow.
it's tiring and it's long, but it's worth it. But it takes a while, and so that's why I'm like, it's a lot to ask artists to do for them to sit still for so long, and you start out asking 250 questions, which could be more. Um, it's a long process, so I know it's gonna take me a minute to get Uncle Bobby pegged down so that he can do it.
Well, just think about that down the road. If God forbid something happened to Taj, he's always going to be there.
He's always here. Yeah, got him preserved in history, and And I know he appreciates that, and his family will appreciate it. And
Has his family seen it? Have they been there to
they
see it?
have not seen it. His girls live in, most of the girls are in New Zealand. He does have a couple of girls here, but they have not been in to see it. So hopefully they'll make their way down so that they can at least put their eyes on. I know they've seen it online, but seeing it in person is totally different from seeing the video of it.
Pretty cool though. He was there actually interacting with it himself.
Yes.
Wow.
That was a great experience. It really was. I'm just thankful that I was here to witness it. And when we did the unveiling, we had about 30 or 40 people here that we invited for the private viewing of it, and everybody was just,
Blown away.
yes. Even the creator, he was here and he was actually blown away
So
too, because he was like, OMG. I don't think he'd ever witnessed the artists be it, singing along and playing along with themselves, because this one is a little different. Most of the holograms that they've done, they're talking holograms, of course, but they're not necessarily interactive
right.
holograms. So this one was a little different, to be able to walk up and ask a question. So I knew I had to have that in here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people can go online and watch a little bit of it, right? Or can they?
Well, we don't have it online. We don't have it online. We do have on our Facebook page, we have a few clips out there here and there, but to actually enjoy the hologram, you have to come into the museum.
To see it and
Mhm.
experience it, as they say.
Exactly. Exactly. So a lot of people come in, and that's what they come in and they say, we want to see the hologram. And then some people don't even know the hologram is here. So once we tell them about it, then of course they want to interact with it. But a lot of people do walk in the door and they come in specifically to see the hologram.
So I have a question about some of these old blues artists that don't have any money, and down the road I've heard that gravestones have been paid for and things like that from different places. Does the Blues Foundation get involved in any of that to help
Oh
out?
yes, we pay for funerals, we pay for hospital bills. That's what
I,
our heart
yeah,
fund is.
I knew that, but I wanted you to talk about it a little bit.
Oh yeah, we the heart fund is there to take care of. We have two different things, I'll tell you. So with the heart fund is the big kahuna, where we take care of help with funerals, burial, cremations, stuff like that for full-time blues musicians that are not able to work for health reasons, and that
Mhm.
means they can't pay their bills. So we will step up, and help with those situations. We have another fund called the Blues Musicians Emergency Relief Fund, that if it's not a medical emergency, but there is an emergency that causes you not to be able to work and pay your bills, then we use that fund for that. But oh yes, we step in and take care of funerals and all types of things through heart. Yes, we do.
That's great. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't sure if you did, because I know there's other agencies out there that provide headstones and other things, but I didn't realize that you do it too.
Oh yes, we do it too. There's a cap, a maximum cap, but we've paid for, oh my gosh, we've paid for several funerals since I've been here. I mean, because one thing about musicians that I've tried to teach it is along the way is get insurance. I mean, they don't think about life necessities. They don't have medical insurance. They don't have life insurance. So when they leave here, then everybody's scrambling to try to take
Well,
care of things. So I'm thankful and grateful that the Blues Foundation is in a position to be able to help with some of that for those that need it.
well, yeah, they're just worried about their next paycheck, their next
They're
money
worried about
coming
the
in.
next gig and the
Right,
next pay they're getting.
right.
Exactly. So, I mean, but there are other programs out there that help the same way. The only difference with us, we are strictly catering to those that are full-time blues musicians.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah, it's all about the blues with us, keeping that alive and keeping everybody healthy. And of course, heart goes out to the Janice Johnston, which is our doctor. She goes and she's over the heart program. She does go. We do go to different, other events. Like last year, we were at the Chicago Blues Festival. We've done Americana. And of course, we do our own events, the Blues Music Awards and the IBC, where we have, the nursing staff on site to check for, do run tests, do blood work, check for
Yep.
different things. And we've been able to help a lot of people. That the Janice has given a lot of diagnosis to people that really needed to get help. So I'm thankful for Heart being able to do that. And we have lots of supporters that make donations to Heart specifically, just because they know we're out helping musicians stay afloat.
Wow. And
Mhm.
how do people give donations to that? Can
You can go to blues.org and then go to the Heart page, and there's a little tab at the top, and it asks you if you want to make a donation. You just click that and you put your information in, and there you've done it. And you'll receive an email saying thank you for your donation.
and how do people become members?
Same website, blues.org, and there's a button at the top to push join, and there it'll show you all the different membership levels. It starts at $25, goes all the way up to 5,000.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So the 5,000 is our charter member level, and we actually have about, I think, seven, that has a cap of 40, and I think we have 17 seats open now.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So we're out soliciting for charter members as well as other members, just to be a part of our blues family and to help us keep the history and the heritage of the blues genre alive and going, and bringing, like I said, we're bringing in younger folks. I'm loving seeing all the young musicians coming out doing stuff. I'm enjoying all of that, so that it helps me to know that it will stay alive and it will not die.
No, it won't. I see them too. They come through my studio all the time, and it's great to see young people playing the blues. It's great.
Oh yes, loving it, loving it, loving it. And I told Roger with the legendary Rhythm and Blues cruise, he's had a couple of cruises with all the young guys out there, and it's been stellar, been stellar. So he's getting ready to do it again in October. He'll have them all out there. So people are loving seeing the young energy. They have old souls, but it's the young energy, and they're playing the real blues, the traditional blues, but
Yep.
they're young and they're embracing it, and they're telling their friends, and their friends are telling their friends, and it's actually growing.
That's good.
It really is. We're excited about it. That was one of my big goals, getting more young people involved in educating.
Well, I remember you saying that when we last time we did an interview, you were talking about that was one of the key things you wanted to bring as the president is to bring youth into this because they weren't in it before,
They
really.
weren't in it before. No, they were not. And I was telling people, and I tell people all the time, the demographic that we've had in the past has been 60 to death. So I want to make sure that we
60 to
bring,
death.
yes, we got to bring some young people in here, so that when people start going away or they get too old to participate, then it'll keep going.
Yep.
It'll still be able to keep going with the young folks, and I think it's in good hands, and it's gonna continue to grow and continue to thrive.
Well, I see them. I see a lot of them coming up, and it's like and when I see them and I meet them, I'll say I'm proud of you for doing this
Yes,
because there aren't a lot of you out there doing it, and I'm glad that you are.
and I'm glad that you tell them that, because it lets them know that they're appreciated and that they're being seen, and it gives them the motivation to keep doing it and keep going.
Yeah,
And they've
we
got other mentors out there too, that the younger ones are. I mean, it's funny, Sip is younger than I am, but then he's older than some of the young ones, and to hear them say, hey, I'm glad that you taught me this, or I'm glad I got a chance to see you do this, because we're talking 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, and they're really grasping a hold of it, and putting their all in it, and it's a beautiful thing.
well look at Buddy Guy supporting all these young kids that he's over the years. All of these young
Yes,
kids are now playing on a regular
yes,
basis.
yes, and they need some of them need that extra push, some of them don't, but it's just the fact that the veterans and the older players are embracing them as well, and handing the torch over, so they know that they're in the right place and they're doing the right thing.
I know three. The Buddy Guy, as kids would come up. He'd bring them up on the stage with him, and they're all playing regular now. They all have their own records. I mean, Johnny Lang to add is one. I
Yeah,
mean, there's a whole bunch.
Kingfish. I mean, it
Kingfish,
goes
yep,
on and on and on. I mean, he
right.
is really, Buddy Guy has been great with embracing and throwing them out there so that he knows, he won't be here forever, and somebody's
Right.
got to take that spot, not replace him because he can't be replaced, but at least keep it going.
But that speaks volumes about him too, about you know what he's done his whole career, and then he brings these kids. I couldn't believe the first time I saw some of the kids he had come on. It's like they can play, they can
Yeah.
sing, they know them, they understand what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. And just think about it, though. If they didn't, he wouldn't endorse them.
Right,
They have
right.
to, and I same thing with Taj. I mean, with John Tavius Willis and
Yep.
Marquise Knox. I mean, he has really been Sean McDonald. He has really been behind those guys, pushing them to keep doing what they're doing. And
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
I saw Marquise. He was here in Lowell a few years ago. I was
Yeah,
like blown away at how good he was.
Marquise is phenomenal, and to be so young, but
Yeah.
he's been out there a long time as a young man too.
He's from St.
Mhm.
Louis, right? I think, or
Yes,
Missouri.
he's from
Yeah,
St. Louis.
yeah,
He's from St. Louis. Dylan Triplett is from St. Louis. It's a lot of
yeah,
good music from St. Louis. A
yeah.
lot of history and musicians come from St. Louis.
St. Louis blues, as they say.
Yes,
Well,
they hang in there with it too.
yeah. Well, that's good. There's Kansas City blues. There's a lot of Kansas City blues artists there too.
Oh, Danielle Nicole, she's my girl. I love her.
Oh,
I call on her to do a lot of things, and she's always for Johnny on the spot.
she's awesome. Oh my God,
Yes,
is she awesome? Great
yes, she is.
voice, great everything.
Everything, and Brandon, her husband, is I just love them. I mean, they have been on this ride with me since the beginning, and they, like I said, whatever I need them to do, they're always right there to do it, and I'm appreciative of them for that. I mean, every time I think of things for them to do, she'll say, "Call us if you need us." I said, "Don't tell me that, I'll call."
Well, again, they started out. She started out as a kid too,
Yeah, sure did.
with her family.
Her family, yeah, yeah, and they're all so talented and also sweet. They're just sweet people. So I enjoy them. But it's so many of them that I just enjoy being around, and I'm just,
Well, you
you
must
know,
be happy to know that there's so many now out there that are doing this now that weren't doing it before when they were you didn't know.
yeah. Well, I'm excited and I am happy, and it blows me away to see how they're. I mean, some the ones especially that I've watched grow and mature into their artistry. I just love it, and because it's like it just gives you a warm feeling. I just know everything is gonna be okay.
Oh
They'll
yeah.
be carrying it on, and I'm loving that.
Well, I just want to say thank you for taking some time out of your busy day to spend it with me and talk a little bit about the Blues Foundation. And I want my listening audience, again, you tell them where they can go to sign up to help you out.
Sure, go directly to blues, that's BLUES .org, blues.org. Everything that we have going on, tickets, hotel links, everything that we have coming up for the Blues Music Awards is there. Our everyday run of the mill stuff is there. Any questions you may have, most of the answers are there. Email addresses and phone numbers are there if you need to reach out to the staff. So we're always available and willing to help.
Well, I'll tell you, I was thrilled when I saw Laura Chavez win Woman Guitarist of the Year. I've never, that was like
That
crazy.
was the first. That was a first, and that was first of many.
She, just so you know, when she was 19 or 20 years old, her and I don't know if I told you this story. Her and I used to trade emails back and forth, and she came and played on my show in 2003
Really?
with Lara Price, who she was with, the band Lara Price band she was with, and no one knew who she was. Nobody. And
Wow.
she came east and said, "Hey, you have a blues show. Can I come? You said you do live stuff. Can I bring my band on?" She came in and she blew us all away. I never knew what I was expecting. And I looked at her and I said, I can't imagine what you're going to be like in about 5 or 10 years. And look at her now.
Look at her. She is phenomenal. And there again, such a sweet personality. She's a sweet person. She's another one that I can call and say, Laura, I need, and she'll say, okay, if I'm free, I'll do it.
Yeah, I was like, when I saw that she won, the first female ever, I was like,
Yes.
yeah, there we go.
Way deserving of it. Way
Yeah,
deserving of it.
yeah.
Just like you were way deserving to get that Keeping the Blues Alive award.
Thank you. It was long. I didn't realize that I didn't even think I was going to get it until you called me, and it's like, wow, I can't believe it. I mean, I've been doing it. You do it, and you don't think of those things, any awards or anything, because you love doing. I love
You
doing
love
it,
doing it. Yes.
and I
Yes.
love to promote bands. I love to learn about new bands because then my listening audience gets to hear all those new bands, and then the opportunity of bringing them in and actually having them play and get something. I give them a recording.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for me and them.
And it's phenomenal that you're doing that. And I know that and that's there again, you're preserving history too. It's always going to be there. So that's a big to do when it comes down to making sure we keep our records and keep, even though we have everything digitized now, we still have to keep record.
Well, I archive shows. I never used to do that before. I'm now archiving my shows.
Okay.
So I have them all now. Anybody can listen to them at any time if they want.
Well, that's wonderful. I mean, because you're preserving the history and the heritage of the blues, which is what we are all slated out to
Yeah.
do.
And the other thing that I did, which was kind of interesting, a few weeks ago, I had a band in from 1995. And I hadn't seen them since 1995. They came in and I handed them their recording from all those years ago.
Oh, wow. I know that was so exciting for them. So 1995 up until now,
Yeah.
20 years later,
Yeah.
you gave them history. So what's amazing is I hope they listen to it
Oh, yeah.
or and be like and see how much they've grown.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
That's
And I've kept, thanks to some
oh,
of
I
the,
said 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
right, 30 years ago. And I've kept all those recordings. And I have a friend that comes to the show every week. I bought him a DAT machine so we could convert all of that stuff onto
Wow.
CD. And he was nice enough to do it. And I've got recordings going all the way back to 94. That's when we
Wow.
started doing the live stuff, all the way up till today. And I
I didn't
continue.
realize you had been well, yeah, that's why you were much deserving of getting that.
And
You've been recording live recording since 94.
right, including regional and national acts that have come in every so often. I have Papa Chubby from 97. I mean, Gabe Stillman came in. He's one of the young guys. He came in and recorded us 5 or 6 songs one afternoon, and it was incredible. The recording
Wow.
came out great. And I'm working on more. I got more coming up. I may even have, get a load of this, folk guy, Tom Rush may be coming in. I'm working with him.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
He
Wow.
originally worked with Odetta. He had his first few albums were blues albums. He's a folk
Mm-hmm.
guy. He's in his 80s, I'm guessing, early 80s.
He's in his 80s. He is.
And
Early 80s. Mm-hmm.
right. And I've talked to him a few times, and I'm trying to get him to come in and do a short acoustic set and maybe play some of the early blues stuff from his first couple albums that were I mean, he used to play with Odetta, he was telling me. So things like that. I try to get as much as I can get people in to promote what they're doing.
Well, people like you are the reason why we're able to keep doing what we're doing, because you're helping us develop more artists and helping keep the ones that are out there flourishing and relevant.
Yeah. Well, one of these days I got to do another. I did a Taj interview a long time ago I'd love to do another one with him one of these days.
Well, it may happen. He'll be up your way soon.
Yeah, I'll have to figure out how to do when we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be up your way soon. Like I said, I don't get involved with that type of stuff, but I can definitely get you in contact with that part of management that can make that happen.
Yeah, if you would, that would be great.
I can definitely do that.
And
I'll,
yeah, like I said, I continue to record. I record all my shows. I record all the interviews, and I promote. The other thing that I've been doing, like I'm from album radio back in the late '70s, early '80s when we first started the show. I
mhm.
still do it. Full albums. We play new blues CD every single week,
Wow.
promoting that artist's new CD. And a lot of people will say, "Why do you do that?" Some of the labels don't like that. I said, "I don't care." I said, "I can do what I want, and I think the artist needs that promotion for someone to listen to more than one song and be able to say, 'Hey, I want to go buy that record.'" And
Right.
and they do.
Right. And I
So
th- and I love that you do that. You're probably the only one that does that. And the artists, they deserve it. I mean, because we hear the one song, and a lot of people don't even go get the project after they hear the one song. They may just download that one song and that's it.
right,
So I think it's great that you do that.
when they hear the whole record, and that's the whole idea. I said, when they listen to the whole record and they like two, three, four, five songs, guess what? They're gonna go out and find it.
They're gonna go out and get it. Yep,
Right.
you're exactly right. You're exactly right. They're gonna go out and get it.
So every week I do that. And then at the end of the year, I feature all those albums that I've featured during the year on that weekend before the new year.
Wow, that's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. So, see, you needed that Keeping the Blues Alive award.
Thank you. I really appreciate that though. It was fun to come see you and come to Memphis, and it was a fun week.
It was a fun week. It was a fun week. We had the ice, but it worked out.
Yeah, it was good though.
Yeah, it was good. Just like this year, we didn't have ice this time. We had snow, but it was still a lot of fun, and people were still enjoying themselves, and we still had a very big turnout.
That's good.
Hmm.
And hopefully you'll have a big turnout for the Blues Music Awards as well.
Oh yeah, tickets are doing extremely well, and people are excited. And you just look at the list of nominees, so you know the show is going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be great as always.
Yes. And we're going to do something special this time. It'll be a surprise for everybody, but I'm looking forward to it in celebration of what would have been Mr. King's 100th year birthday.
Wow,
Hmm.
I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, we've been partnered. We partnered up with the BB King Museum to celebrate the centennial. So we did some celebratory things at the IBC, and we'll carry it over during the Blues Music Awards.
Great.
Hmm.
Well, Kim, thank you very much. I don't want to take any more of your time. I really appreciate you spending time with me. And if there's anything you need from me, please don't hesitate.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me back on your show, for having me back on Blues Deluxe. I appreciate it.
Anytime you want to do that, if there's something new you want to talk about, just text me or email me.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
all I need now is for everybody to know that the Blues Music Awards is May 8th, and the Blues Hall of Fame induction is May 7th.
Very good. All right.
Mhm.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you,
Blues.org, right?
sir.
Blues.org is where they go.
Blues.org. Blues.org is where they can go get tickets and make your hotel reservations.
All right. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have a great one.
You too.